Hello and welcome. This is the sixth day of our Cracks in the Dravidian Wall. Firstly, let me wish all viewers a great and happy Vishu and a Tamil New Year. Jawahar, wish you the same. You want to?
Thank you. Happy New Year to all, and happy Tamil New Year. Happy Vishu. And a couple of days back, we had Ugadi and Gudi Padwa. In fact, in India, pluralist India and diverse India, it is Happy New Year around the year. So, Happy New Year to all of you.
True. Yes. Puttandu Valthugal to everybody. Yesterday, we had done our first part on Annamalai, the star of the show right now, and promised that we would continue in the same vein today too. But there's been a very important development in the morning, which is that the Prime Minister released the manifesto of the Bharatiya Janata Party. The function started at 8:30. That itself is very unusual for any party manifestos to be released, right? And there are certain things, since it's a very important document in the context of this election. I thought with Jawahar's consent, that we should take this up first, and we'll get back to our routine maybe from tomorrow. The first thing that he said, Jawahar, of very significance to Tamil Nadu is this bit. I'm planning.
हम पूरी दुनिया में संत तिरुवल्लुवर कल्चरल सेंटर्स का निर्माण करेंगे। दुनिया की सबसे पुरानी भाषा तमिल, ये इस देश का गौरव है, हमारा गौरव है। तमिल भाषा की वैश्विक प्रतिष्ठा बढ़ाने के लिए भाजपा हर प्रकार के नए उपक्रम शुरू करेगी, प्रयास करेगी।
So, Jawahar, just a quick translation. First thing I hope you understood. He said that across the globe, we will open Thiruvalluvar cultural centers. The next sentence he spoke about how, the important thing, the oldest language Tamil, which is the pride of India, we will find every tool and every means possible to increase its stature across the globe. That's what he said. So now over to you.
This is a great New Year gift to the people of Tamil Nadu. As you know, Thiruvalluvar's Tirukkural is kind of Marai, is almost equivalent to Vedas here. It's all two-liners, but it covers virtually every aspect of life. And despite Periyar's, I have been quoting Periyar on what he said about Tirukkural and Thiruvalluvar. I don't want to repeat.
No, please repeat it.
No. He said that, well, not on this day, such a good day like this. Let us not spoil this day. So, despite Periyar's bad utterings about Tirukkural and Thiruvalluvar, Karunanidhi had appropriated, Karunanidhi and the Dravidian parties, particularly DMK, had appropriated Thiruvalluvar. Even a small-time industrialist in Tamil Nadu, a person I don't want to name, he has been going all over the world installing Thiruvalluvar statues. Virtually, Thiruvalluvar in my early textbooks I have seen, or in my school pictures and all, he used to have this Tirinir or Vibhuti on his forehead. But that has been removed. He has been completely de-Hinduized. But he is not an atheist. The very opening lines are Agara Mudala Iltellam Adi Bhagavan. So the Adi Bhagavan, he says Bhagavan is the opening of everything. So Tirukkural is such a kind of literature, such a kind of work. And that it was hijacked by the Dravidian parties was a kind of sad thing for people like me. When Modi says this in a party manifesto of all things and gives such an assurance, then we are very confident that he will walk the talk on not just Thiruvalluvar. He says Tamil language is the oldest language. He has been saying it repeatedly. That is a very bold thing to say with a constituency like his in North India. And he says it is the pride of India, not just Tamil Nadu or anything. So, in fact, the RSS invocation all through the last several decades, there is one line on Thiruvalluvar actually, but that has not been much publicized. Now, Modi has made it in the manifesto itself. So, it's a big New Year gift for Tamilians.
Yeah. So, I think this could perhaps be the first time that a language has made it to any manifesto, any party manifesto.
First time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what does that show? Does it show that this is a deep commitment to Tamil and Tamil Nadu beyond politics, or what is it?
It is a deep commitment. See, as I have been often referring, the burden of my articles was that, it is beyond immediate politics, polls, or personalities. I mean, political personalities.
Right.
So I'm sure this is a long-term commitment. Modi has committed not once but many times, and so I don't think I think he's very sincere on those promises, and he will do it across the. He's been doing it across the world. He has been taking not just the literature and the poetry and sayings of the elders or greats of the great Tamil savants, but also Tamil cultural things like Pattamada Pai from Tirunelveli. He took it to Japan, Tokyo. He presented to the Prime Minister there. So these kind of things he has been doing for the last 3-4 years. I think these things get more traction in the media so that it reaches the people. But then you have only 5 days away from the Tamil Nadu elections. So Annamalai has a big job to do in taking this to the people.
True. So now that we are over with the most important critical part of the manifesto in terms of the Tamil Nadu election, or one of the critical parts, what are your opening impressions, the first impressions about the manifesto?
The manifesto's header or tagline or whatever you call it is, it doesn't even say BJP manifesto. It probably says Modi ki guarantee. So clearly, the man is the message. That is the clear first. To put it in a nutshell, I would say that the man is the message. Modi is the message. Modi is the man. So and he is the rallying point around which the BJP's fortunes completely revolve. On the converse, he is also the target to be reviled by the opposition. So Modi carries a huge responsibility on his shoulders to deliver on all the counts that he has mentioned in the manifesto at the earliest.
Yeah. Hello. Yes.
Yeah.
So off camera, we were discussing stuff. So what is it that hit you specifically about this manifesto?
Unlike the usual manifestos, let us come the other party manifestos and also BJP's own manifestos. This is not a political manifesto typically. Of course, there are some noises about the usual BJP's favored themes like uniform civil code, citizenship amendment, but these are all in passing mention. Overall, he has made a long-term pitch, long-term leap. It is more an economic manifesto, a development manifesto. So you can call it a risk, you can call it a vision. So it depends on how you see it. But I call it a visionary manifesto. He has taken the immediate risk of not addressing some of the present or current issues. That I think he is very confident that he can pull it off, and very confident that people have the confidence in him that he will take care of them. So he wants to address things in the long term. So there is a saying in Tamil which says, and Modi himself quoted it some time back. If the water level rises, the crops will rise. And if the crops rise, the community will rise. The community rise, the country will rise. And if the country rises, the king will rise. So this Modi himself quoted some years back. So this is a long-term goal where he wants to ensure that the water level first rises and everything rises as a consequence of that. And ultimately, it will be the BJP that will also be rising along with that. So he's pegging the fortunes of the BJP to the country and to the common man. So that is what this manifesto is about, in my first opinion.
Right. So I'll just add a bit to that, which is that in the 40 minutes odd speech that he gave, talking about the manifesto, the cumulative time to political aspect of this manifesto was less than about 1 minute. He spoke about CAA in passing. He spoke about UCC, Unified Common Code, in passing, and one other, the mandirs. He did not mention mandirs at all.
Mandir at all he didn't mention. Nor Mathura.
So, I think people would have expected, now that we have built Ram Mandir, we will also do the Mathura and Kashi. None of that, right? So I think it is very, very, for that reason, he kind of deep dived into development in such extreme detail. I think that is what sets this apart from many of the manifestos of other political parties, which front the politics of it rather than the development of it. Do you agree with that, or?
I fully agree with it because, people were thinking that the BJP typically in its own style would make a pitch for Mathura, Kashi, and all the other 40,000 temples that the other people from the Sangh Parivar have been talking about. But Modi very clearly and cleverly side-tripped such, tipping points and tripping points and landmines, and just went straight and went deep into the core long-term issues. He has probably, having done the wrong temple, he is very confident that the Parivar and the people will take care of the rest. And the judiciary, of course, is there. It is also an indirect expression of confidence in the judiciary that the rest will be taken care of by the judiciary, because most of them are in the courts, most of these issues. So he didn't want to raise any big noise about and make a controversy, because once again he will become the target. So he has clearly, skipped all these arrows very cleverly, I would say.
Yeah. So I'll dwell on this for another minute before I go on to another aspect of it, which is that he is actually kind of selling a dream of a future, the Viksit Bharat and others, right? So he also seems to suggest that there will be a lag before everything that you want will happen in this country. There is a time, say a roadmap of 10 to 15 years, and then we will be this Viksit Bharat. But why would people listen to him? Why would they give him that lag time? Why would they? What is it that he is so confident about, that they, after this, where there is no politics in it, he's only talking about development, that people will still stay with him? Where does that come from?
It is a measure of his confidence that he will win this election first. Okay, you understand that. He's going to make it big in this election. It is a measure of his confidence that he will be able to pull through despite whatever negative things that the others are all projecting. So that is a measure of his confidence that he can do it despite not making any immediate promises. But we will discuss that soon enough.
Right.
So I would say that Modi is pretty sure that the long-term pitch will go with the people better than any kind of the promises that the regional parties are making. He wants to stand away and stand alone from the other parties, and which he has done this in this manifesto. It is unlike the other party manifestos, which all talk about political freedom and all these kinds of things, and the local manifestos which promise massive freebies and all those things. He doesn't want to get into any of that. He doesn't want to get into any kind of controversies. He says, let us go developmental. Because that is the way the world is going today. So he is now trying to put the country in synchronization, in synergy with the rest of the world, and he probably even lead it, which is what he has been saying. That India will be a leader of the world, not just the third world, but the leader of the world. We are now the fifth largest economy. He has assured that it will become the third largest economy. So this is what his vision is. So this is more about a vision. Now you are asking me if the people will believe it. Well, we will. I think I want to play devil's advocate on some of the counts on that. We will come to these points eventually.
Yeah, I think his confidence also comes from the fact that in these 10 years he has been able to deliver certain things that he thinks will be the foundation for the trust that people have, that he will deliver whatever else he is promising. I think that's what he's kind of gambling on or betting on, or whatever you would say. I think it's the 10 years, all the things that he's done at the bottom of the pyramid, the gas and the water and the electricity and ration and all that, right? I think that is what gives him that confidence that maybe people will have the patience to bear with me for some more time before all of this comes into fruition, right? Okay, that said, there is a difference between there's a difference that you spoke of between this manifesto of BJP and of the rest of the political parties. But there is a difference between this BJP manifesto and the manifestos of BJPs of earlier times. What is that?
Exactly. So the point is, even last election, Modi promised a 2 crore job per a year. That did not actually materialize in its I don't know the exact number, but it did not materialize. No. He has made no such instant, solutions this time. he has clearly steered away from all kinds of such promises. And that shows a big movement and a maturity. And it also shows that he has learned from his mistakes, and showed humility in acknowledging those mistakes and acting upon them also. He clearly thinks that normally the word electoral promise is almost equated to a lie, or almost equated to a lie, even at common discussions by
Correct.
family.
Yes.
They are making an election vakuruthi. It's like that. So Modi now understands that the election promise, the very phrase, has been completely discredited. So he does not. He has probably does not want to make any promise that he cannot keep in the immediate term. So he has just clearly steered away from making that kind of things. It is a very bold and audacious move, I would say. I won't use the word arrogant, but it is an audacious move that he has made, and he is trusting himself and trusting the people that it will yield dividends, and people will understand him. So it's a gambit. It's a gambit.
Right. So, do you think that in the last 3, or maybe since 2014, 19, and now, we have started taking at least the BJP manifesto seriously, that we expect it to be implemented? Because earlier manifestos were not anything that you would put much store by.
As I said, every manifesto is not different from the other manifesto. All manifestos were same. Even as you rightly put it, this is different from even the BJP's earlier manifestos, which were full of Ram Temple, Uniform Civil Code. Even now there is, but passing mention only. So this manifesto is definitely different from the earlier manifestos and the other party manifestos. So the implementation part is still in the realms of the clouds, realms of the vague or dreamland. But I'm sure Modi knows what he is doing. So that's all I can say about this.
Right. So coming to what are the specifics? One or two things he very specifically said. One big say announcement is of extension of this Ayushman Bharat.
Yes.
Ayushman Bharat, for people, I'm sure people in Tamil Nadu also know about it, but I'll just give you a brief of it. It is a health insurance scheme that gives a coverage of 5 lakh rupees for every family, poor family. There's a economic eligibility to it, right? So that was extended to nearly 10 crore families in 2019, and till about say 1 month ago, when I saw the statistics, about nearly 75,000 crore rupees have actually been disbursed towards it, and it's seen as one of the best or most successful schemes of the Modi government. What is now done is that now he has extended this scheme to everybody who is above 70, irrespective of their economic status.
Yeah.
In fact, you in some time and I much faster will get there, right? So this, considering that, so that's what is done. So tell me what you think of the implications of it.
See, generally, this is the BJP has gradually moved from social backwardness to economic backwardness, recognition of economic backwardness. Many state governments have also come around to that. Now, the extension of the scheme to 70-year-olds in every family, not below the income level or above the income level, and it is going to benefit the middle class in a very big way, because life expectancy, lifespan have gone up, which is a good thing. But along with that, proportionally with that, medical expenses for the elderly have also gone up. So extending the scheme to the 70 plus people will be a great relief to the middle class families who have such elders, and this also gives the elders a kind of self-respect, and that's a big thing, the dependence, and for the family also it's a big relief. So I think this is the real highlight of the whole manifesto. There are so many things about developmental things, but this is an immediate highlight of the manifesto, I would say that.
Yeah. So because see, I don't have the latest numbers offhand, but you are looking at least a 300 million, that is a 30 crore middle class, and the middle actually expanding, right? I think it's a very bold move, and it's a very necessary move, because even middle class, one of the things that elders in middle class families do is to hide their medical conditions. If they have a certain persistent pain in the stomach, let us say, they won't talk
about. That is why I
about.
said self-respect.
Yes, yeah. it's very well put. I think it's a very important one that way. Okay. Jawahar, we just spoke about the Ayushman scheme, which is obviously a very important what do you call announcement in this manifesto. The other one that I noticed as an announcement itself is the increasing the limit of Mudra scheme from 10 lakh to 20 lakh. Now, this Mudra scheme is one of the other schemes which the Modi government at least claims that it's a very successful. There have been nearly lakhs of people or crores of people who have taken the loans, and last I know it was about 2.5 lakh crore loans have been disbursed through Mudra, creating businesses and jobs and all that, which is the claim of the government, right? But most important aspect of Mudra is that everybody expected this to land up being another big NPA burden on our finance systems. But the Mudra has maintained about 3 to 5, I think it is. I'm not exactly sure of the year, but it is well below what the normal banking NPAs stand at, right? So you yourself have battled through a business, big, small, medium, whatever you would call that. So and you have a very, what do you call, perceptive eye on economy, being a chartered accountant yourself and a business owner. So where does this Mudra scheme stand in your scheme of things?
Increasing the limit of the Mudra scheme from 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs is going to obviously benefit a lot of new entrepreneurs, particularly youngsters who want to start their own enterprises. There is no doubt about it. But the thing is that my experience from COVID, particularly, number of businesses were closed down. Lakhs and lakhs of businesses went bust at that time. And till today, they are all facing GST notices, income tax notices are coming to them, which means the ease of doing business in India is very difficult for small, tiny, medium, and MSMEs, particularly, more so after the post-COVID scenario. That's what I can say from my experience. In fact, closing a business is more difficult than closing a good business is more difficult than running a bad business. You may as well get along with running a bad business, but it's very difficult to close a good business. But we were forced to do. Many people were forced to do that. But the Mudra scheme, when you talk of NPAs, I'm immediately reminded of Janardhan Pujari's, 1980s, vintage loan melas. I think this is definitely a lot better than that scam of those days. Yeah.
Right.
We will come to the specific issue of MSMEs soon enough, or right away if you wish.
Yeah, go ahead. Speak about it, because that is a very critical aspect.
Yeah, if I have to play devil's advocate, I will do that on 3 counts. One is that my big worry is jobs. And the reason, in my perspective, that jobs are not going up in the way it should have been is that employers are not safe. Employers are afraid to start businesses after what happened right from demonetization. At the time of demonetization, many small, tiny traders, tiny businesses, small and MSME businesses, they were all virtually, wiped out. They never recovered. Then we had the GST regime that came. And there is still a lot of confusion about GST in various sectors. When a closed business today gets a GST notice, the person does not know where to go because he cannot hire a consultant. He does not have the old records. He does not have the old employees who were there. So this is a complete mess which is happening now for the small businesses who all closed down or trying to revive. There is very little time for revival. The packages that the government gave during 2020 during COVID did not exactly benefit the kind of expectation that the government had generated. The banks were supposed to give the money to the borrowers to restart the business, but many banks adjusted against the rules. Many banks adjusted the same to the earlier debts and moratoriums that were pending. So these things were happening, and this thing didn't go to the notice of the higher level, the mandarins of the economic ministry. The third thing is this insolvency code that was brought in between demonetization and GST. This killed many small industries.
Right.
Because the insolvency code was meant to protect the bank. That is a very honorable thing. NPS were at an all-time high. But basically, these things were legacy of the Manmohan Singh P. Chidambaram combination when DRTs were very active, and the banks used to sell the debt to asset reconstruction companies. These asset reconstruction companies were basically owned by foreign investors. So this was kind of an economic colonialism that Chidambaram and Manmohan Singh unleashed on the small and industries. Ideally, they should have kept the threshold for DRT and insolvency bankruptcy could be above 25 crores, so that most of the MSMEs who have mortgaged their own personal properties, ancestral properties with the banks. So they were now all completely they lost their properties to land grabbers, loan sharks, and loan Shylocks. These were the asset reconstruction companies. They were charging interest rates at the rates of 26 and 30%, while banks were giving it at 9% to 12%. So this virtually killed a lot of people. So I thought from the MSME point of view, this could have been addressed, because employers are at peril even today. So you can't think of raising employment unless the employers are safe. So these are the three things I think they should address. I think they have enough experts to advise them on all these things. I'm just pointing out that these things have not been addressed. These have to be addressed immediately. This cannot be a dream, or this kind of cannot be part of a vision. It has to be an immediate mission. You have to save the. Also, in the context of Make in India, bulk of the manufacturing is done not by the big ticket industrialists, but small businesses and small like lathes. You go and see any of the industrial estates in just Madras alone. Most of them have been closed, and they used to employ 10 people, 20 people, 30 people. So they are all out of jobs. They can't find new skills. They can't go to an IT industry just like that. You can't expect a 40-year-old worker to learn IT skills and artificial intelligence and go into a software sector. So that age is even old enough for a person in the software sector itself. So many people have been thrown out of employment after demonetization, after these kind of MSME, after the MSMEs were closed down. For instance, Annamalai's constituency, Coimbatore, is where several textile mills. The state governments also have played a major part in the destruction of the MSME economy, the local economy, power tariff rise, and so many other things, corporation tax, municipal taxes increase. So state government has its share. But they have very conveniently thrown the responsibility on the central government, and central government has willy-nilly walked into the trap also. So it has to be a combined effort to bring out these small people, small industries out of it. I don't see any mention of that in the manifesto, and that is for me a grouse.
Yeah. Another missing mention is inflation, price rise.
Yes, price rise was the main reason why the Congress lost in Tamil Nadu in 1967. The Annadurai in the SCO-bonds, that's what I call them, wooden pirapugal. They created a wonderful slogan. There was a lot of corruption in the Bhaktavachalam government, but price rise was a major thing. Kamaraj Annachi, Kadala Parupu Vela Annachi, Arisi Vela Annachi. I mean, what happened to the price of rice? What happened to the price of dal? All these black dal, all the kinds of dal. So this was the slogan they used. Food price is always a very sensitive thing here. And prices have been going up and spiraling. There's no doubt about it. And I think, as I said earlier, Modi probably believes that once the basic economy and the macro economy settles down, the microeconomy will take care of itself by its own economic forces. I think it's more a hope than an immediate reality. But he has also, it is very difficult to go through the manifesto in full in a very short time. But I see that there are some measures to consolidate the prices of basic vegetables and food prices, and there are also measures for storage facilities and all that. So stabilization of prices. Hope if these things come into effect immediately, then prices can be stabilized, or if not brought down from the levels. Once price goes up, it never comes down really. But it can be stabilized at a reasonable level, affordable level. But basic thing, as I said, is that employment is the core problem. If the employment rises and the incomes rises, price rise will seem a lesser problem. because affordability will be there. Even if the price is a little higher, affordability will be there. So the core problem, as I see it, is employment. So the employment figures, we have to look at it. And underemployment. Engineering youth, well-educated engineering students or youth, in Tamil Nadu at least, as I see, they are in Swiggy, Zomato, Zepto, always on their toes now. So these people will have to be, brought, because we are talking of a demographic dividend. If it has to be converted into a democratic dividend, then we have to bring all these people into the democratic loop. And one more thing, disturbing thing that I saw was that people from the new voters from the age group of 18, 19, 20, they have not even registered as voters. And Telangana, it is the highest is Telangana at 55 or 56. Tamil Nadu, which is supposed to be a developed state, is much less than 50%. There is much to talk about UP or Bihar or Uttarakhand or certain other. So if you want to bring these voters, you have to be economically inclusive. And the best way to be economically inclusive is to look at the job position, which has to be addressed immediately. It cannot be a vision. It cannot be a dream. Because people are also aging, and impatient.
Yes. So you use the word hope. So what I'll do is, it's a long clip. It's a 2-minute clip, but I won't play all of that. But you'll get the drift of it. What is this hope that he is selling? And then I'll come back to you with a closing question. On that, we can end the topic today, on the discussion today.
इससे उभरते हुए सेक्टर से भी देश में रोजगार की अनेक नई संभावनाएं बनने जा रही है। साथियों, भाजपा का संकल्प भारत को दुनिया के हर उभरते हुए सेक्टर्स का ग्लोबल हब बनाने का है। वो समय दूर नहीं जब भारत दुनिया का ग्रीन एनर्जी हब होगा, फार्मा हब होगा, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स हब होगा, ऑटोमोबाइल हब होगा, सेमीकंडक्टर हब होगा, इनोवेशन हब होगा, लीगल इंश्योरेंस हब होगा, कॉन्ट्रैक्टिंग कॉमर्शियल हब होगा। वो दिन दूर नहीं।
So you get the drift. I don't think you need a translation for that, right? So what he said is that the time is not far when India will be the global hub of every upcoming sector of a digital world, right? So that's what he said. So that's where, and he preceded it by saying that there will be jobs. All these jobs, where will they come from? They'll come from India becoming this global hub for across the spectrum, right? That's what he says. So my question is, which takes you back to what you said earlier, that this is the man is the message, right? So I'm taking you back. So he is very clearly selling a dream, right? And make no bones about it, I am going to deliver it. So the manifesto is Modi guarantee. It is not called BJP's manifesto anymore, right? So when you say the man is the message, give us a good dip into what you think it is, whether it will work, what is it, what is the difference from earlier?
When I said man is the message, I had something else in mind also. Because, coming from any other leader, like Rahul Gandhi, or there is no national leader in the nation as of now. So Modi is the one horse race virtually, and that is what it is all about. There is nobody in the opposition, running along with him. So coming from Modi, it is sans any hollowness or hyperbole. People trust him. He is the most trusted leader, and I have no doubts about that. So Modi has taken a big responsibility on his shoulders, and he is saying that these things are going to generate jobs, and he's giving a big dream to the people of the country, particularly the youth of the country, who are the majority of the voters. As I said, the demographic dividend. So coming from him, I think people will definitely trust his words. But the action has to come in the first few years itself. Because as I said, people are aging, 20 years become 22 or 23. So they need jobs. The average age of people coming out of college from MS or MTech degree is around 20, 22, 23. They have to get jobs at that age. So whether they will be willing to wait, they will trust Modi for that. They don't trust Rahul Gandhi. They won't trust any of the local chieftains of any other party. People don't trust DMK here. It is only about family here. And we have been talking about it. So Modi is the only person who can deliver this promise also, not make this promise. We can deliver this promise also. So we have to only hope that he does that. He has taken his personal reputation, personal life and political life, and he doesn't have much of a personal life. His political future on this particular promise. So I think he means business. So let us hope that business really takes off in India as he has promised. But he has built a base. There is no doubt about it. He has built a real base for that. So he has built on this base, and he is not looking in the immediate future. But the people are looking at the immediate future. This is a fast food economy. So I may not say 1 year, but maybe in the next 2-3 years, things have to happen on the ground level, at the employment level, and I'm sure it will happen. I'm sure it will happen.
So what about the criticism of arrogance or I, me, myself? It's just all about himself? So does that stand in this, or is it?
Not for me, because maybe it's true from a northern leader or liberal or left, his critics' point of view. I have seen more of this in Tamil Nadu. So I don't think I am, I will buy into this arrogance argument. If he's arrogant, so be it. Because we have seen more arrogant leaders here. I mean, myself is all the credo of the leaders of Tamil Nadu all the time. I used to say that in the morning when they wake up, they look at the mirror and they say, "Hail myself," and then they walk into the crowd, and the flattery fraternity will say all kinds of things. The personalities are taller than the cutouts that we see routinely here. Narcissism is a philosophy here. Ego tickling is a kind of habit here. So I think those things don't wash with me, at least. We have seen worse. We have seen taller egos, bigger egos here.
Okay.
So it's not about that. Man is the message, and that's a fact. Let us take it. So if you don't like Modi, don't vote. If you like Modi, if you trust Modi, vote for him. That is it. It's a simple yes or no question in this election. That is it. That's all.
So great. So the man is the message. That's the message from us today. So that's where we will call it a day today. Once again, a happy New Year to everybody listening in, tuning into this. Jawahar, we'll meet again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.